There's a place I've come to know well, led by a man named Sty. He's full of stories, he is quite a guy. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty, he's quite the guy. If you're feeling lonely, come and make a friend. If you need a story, on Sty you can depend. His voice is soothing like a lullaby. Sometimes he brings a tear to my eye. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty, he's quite the guy.
Well, good evening, everyone. Good to see y'all. Yep. Hey, folks out in the chat. Yeah, right away, there was Metal Music Maniac. What are you saying? Big Bang. I'm going to guess on this one that it's hitting our heads on some cast iron pans hanging up in the kitchen. Kabong. I've been fortunate. Never bumped the ones that hang. We had one of them hangers by the stove and another one out in the open room. Never banged my head on them there, but someone did help me get my head banged with a few frying pans in the past. There's Ingalls family. Great to see ya. Hello, everyone. Cheers. There's Tim with Kirk Whipper Voyager Center. Awesome. There's Kimberly Ferris. Good to see you, Kimberly. And there's Kayla. Awesome. Love it. And who else we got here? There's TM. Says, can't stay long. Just thought I'd stop by and say hello. Well, I'm glad you did, TM. I'm really glad you did. Let's see. Well, that's it for the folks out in the chat. It's just a few folks, but they're busy chatting. That's cool. Here's your chance, guys. Share it on out. Share it on out to all the folks out there. Let's try to get the house full up, eh? There's plenty of room in the Sty Shack. You betcha. If I don't seem as upbeat tonight, I apologize. I am just really tired. Oh man, I am pooped. It's been a busy day. I'm tearing my place apart and getting things packed. I've only got about 2.5 weeks, and I start moving things out of here. And sayonara gone. And this coming week is a busy week. Other than packing and prepping my place for me to get out, I've got to put a starter in my truck. And doggone weather, I hope it holds. I hope it's not bad on Thursday. I'm planning on getting it in the truck on Thursday. The absolute latest I can even go is Saturday. So whether or not, gotta be like a postman, come rain or shine. Yeah, gotta go out there and get that starter in my truck, get the truck bed emptied out, and what's in the back seat of my truck. That's still got a bunch of camping gear in it. That's easy though, because I just pop that in the adventure trailer. The stuff that's in the very back of the truck in the actual box, I got to put in the workshop, tools and things like that. But then I can, at my leisure for a couple of days or so, load stuff into the bed of the truck and haul load over. Probably, I figure with the truck, I probably got 3 loads, and then everything small is out of here. And the only thing small I'll have left are the items at my studio here. That can go into a single container, and then the electronics get wrapped up, ready to haul on the 27th. So, fortunately, the day before I move, I'm not doing a live stream that night. I'm wrapping everything up very last minute, wrap up, last couple items. And then they're out of here the next day. Then I'm right back here the day after that, and I'm scrubbing the place. That's going to be a bit of a chore. That'd take me the better part of the day, because I'm scrubbing her good, washing all the walls, scrub and mop the floor, the tile floors, and wax some fresh wax job on them. Any last minute touch-ups with the carpet. There ain't going to be much to do there. It's more vacuum than anything. I don't need to use the extractor on it. Nothing's ever been spilt on it. So yeah, it should go pretty good. There's Freeman James saying hello to everybody. There he is. Freeman James. Oops, I hit Kimberly. There's Kimberly Ferris. Hey, saying hello to Freeman James. There he is. Yeah, I was hovered on him with the mouse, and just as I clicked it, Kimberly's comment came in right underneath. So it moved her comment into the slot I had the mouse on. Yeah, we don't have anybody in the basement at the moment. Johnny Bravo just got here. Don't forget the Play-Doh. It can be handy for camping when there's wind. Yeah, things that help keep you from the boredom, right? Yeah. It's not often I got bored in camp, even on rain days, but there's Rain Dancer. It's great to see you. Saying hello to me and everybody in the chat. There she is. Yeah, I was chatting with Running Water before the stream tonight, and usually he'd be down in the basement and more than happy to come on up, but he was getting out of cell range just before the stream. Yeah, he was getting pretty garbled up, and I had to say so long to him. He's somewhere, I don't know. He's somewhere either still in Wyoming. He's probably still in Wyoming, heading to Butte, Montana. He just spent almost a full 24 hours, I believe it was, maybe even longer. I don't remember exactly when he first told me, but they were shutting down roads and Wyoming left and right, and they just happened to shut down the highway he was on, and he ended up stranded in a wayside rest, waiting for him to reopen the roads. And he kept messaging me and showing me what the State Department of Transportation was saying about the road conditions. One time it would say, oh, we anticipate it being another 8 to 10 hours. Then they come back and say 2 to 5 hours. Then they came back and said, no, it's going to be 4 to 7 hours. And it kept doing that back and forth, back and forth. Every time they'd message them, it seemed like they were adding hours on. And the wayside rest he was in, right at the entrance to it, there's a plow truck not plowing because it got itself stuck. He said, so they got to sit there and watch, waiting for the big tow truck to come in and yank that plow truck out of there so he could get back out and plowing. Typical Wyoming snowstorm, though. You look out over the prairie and you can see all the sagebrush and the like. Doesn't look like much snow. The highway, poof, full up. Just all the snow dumping on the highway. Yeah. Yeah. So he did the right thing. He got off that highway when they said they were going to be closing and sat and stayed put until they got the snow cleared off. He had a fellow driver in the same wayside as him, and when they left, because he is back out running now, when they left, Running Water said the guy come around and blew his doors off and took off. Running Water says the roads are open. That doesn't mean they're good. And there's Running Water out in the chat. And he said down the road a ways, sure enough, there's that guy that passed him. He's in the ditch with his rig. And it's one of his drivers for the company and that he works with. And Running Water's got a schedule to keep. And if he stays driving the way he is, he'll meet his schedule without a problem. Everything will work out. Sounds like this goofball just messed himself up. Yeah, now he's got a tow charge that they got to pay to get the truck out of the damn ditch, and plus all that time burnt off of his driving. Yeah, Running Water's running up to Butte, right into another big storm. Can't remember what he said, 14 to 18 inches or something like that of snow going to be coming down on Butte. So that's what he's got to look forward to after he unloads and gets back on the road tomorrow. Driving through that nasty stuff in western Montana. Not fun. Not fun. Quite the deal. That's the one thing I don't miss about driving over the road was winter. Winter running is, you know, you're okay if you just take your sweet time, but if you're pushed, things can just happen in the winter that you don't have to worry about all summer. You know, I used to love spring and fall running. Spring was an issue in some locations because of the flooding, but you didn't really have to worry about the weather so much. Sure do this time of year, man. Oh, that's like here. You know, we had like 4 days in a row would snow an inch or two overnight. Today it got warm enough; it's been melting, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, I have to. Da, 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 da. Okay. There we go. Oh, yeah. Well, how's everybody else doing? I mean, I hope you're all doing good. Hey, hot mess. Great to see you. Um, yeah, the cold and damp there. Need some warmth, rain dancers saying. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't help you out. Yeah, uh, I'm warm-hearted, if that helps. But yeah, rain dancers out there in Washington. Let's let's all head out there, eh? Yeah, I really today really put a lot of thought into what I got to get done for my relocation. I tore all my electronics down that I am not using in the studio right now, and I filled a big tote bag, 30 inches long, about 18 wide and 13 high. She's full to the top with cabling. There's 2 PlayStations in there. There's a ton of electronic stuff, headphones, and microphones, and tons of stuff in there. And now my entertainment center is totally empty except for the television and the PS4. My desk totally empty, nothing on it except for the one television. The rain dancer, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this. Whoa. Maybe this little fella can help warm you up. There you go. He looks nice and warm and furry. Or this big fella, he could give you a bear hug to warm you up. There you go. There you go. The let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Yeah, everybody just saying hello, hello, hello. Well, hello there. I had someone tell me earlier, why don't you just cancel your stream? You've been working on your place all damn day. And they said, you're wearing yourself out. And I said, no, I can relax in my stream. I don't need to not stream because I feel tired. That's a given. I don't feel sleepy tired or I want to go to bed early, I don't think I'll let the stream go as terribly late tonight as I usually do. We'll see what happens and how many people are in the house. I'll keep it going if there's enough people. And I shouldn't feel too tired. Had a pretty good night's sleep last night. Yeah. I was surprised. I got 7 hours and 50 minutes of sleep last night. That's pretty good for me. Usually it's 4 hours. So I got 3 extra hours of sleep. That's the way I see it. I didn't feel that like I got any extra sleep, but I did. So I shouldn't be sleepy tired for a while. I'm sure though, if I don't, after my stream tonight, if I don't get those couple things done that I wanted done yet today, that I could get sleepy tired real quick if I just sat and had something going and watching it. Yeah, yeah. As long as I got something to keep my interest, I don't get sleepy tired often. I took some antihistamines for my runny nose problem, and that might make me kind of dozy. Antihistamine does that to you. It makes you a little dozy. I don't want to be dozing off. No, sir. No, sir. Yeah, I watched every video on YouTube on changing out the starter I have in my truck. That ain't going to be fun. That ain't going to be fun at all. A job that usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half for somebody that's young, healthy, and knows what to do. I am confident it's going to take me 2.5, maybe 3 hours to do the same thing. Because I'm going to have to take a break in the middle there, I'm sure. By the time I get the thing out of the truck, I'm going to want to take a break. So I'll take a half hour, 40-minute break, and then I'll end up putting another hour and a half into it. So it's just one of those automotive parts that just getting it up in there is going to be a bummer. And all the videos I showed, these guys are tapping them in and twisting, wiggling, and finally getting them to pop in. And oh, look at there! I see this friend of mine. There's Mojo. There is Mojo. The Mojo's in the house. He's in the house. It's great to see you grilling and chilling with Mojo. It's always great to see you. Yeah, I see some of my followers and YouTube friends popped up videos today. I managed to watch. I think I got them all. Give them all a thumbs up. And typical, didn't really leave comments, but boy, give them that thumbs up and the full watch time. Let their video play out. Let it play all the way out. Give them that watch time and that view, you know. Yeah, this is the frustrating part of my move. This next 2.5 weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks, because I want to be there so bad, but it feels like there's so much to do. There's so much to get done. Right now, if I were a rich man, boy, that's a big if. But if I was a rich man, I'd be paying somebody to come in here and do this stuff for me, you know. I don't like to move. It's a pain in the neck. It's a real pain in the neck. This will probably be my last move, though. I truly suspect it will be. I can't think for the life of me why I'd ever move again. I'm going to enjoy this coming year once I'm in the place, established. Yeah, pain in the back, not just the neck. That's yeah, Mojo. Just so you're aware, I did send you the link that you do want to come up and chat. But yeah, it's a pain. It's a pain. I've been smart so far. Everything I packed up so far is an easy handle. You know, each tote, each box, each bin. Yeah, easily picked up by one person and moved around. You aren't carrying two at a time, but they are just heavy enough you got a good load, but not so heavy it's going to wear a person out, you know. And for me, I've got a cart, big flat kind of cart. I can stack my totes and bins on it so easily, a bunch of them. Wheel it out of here, take it down the elevator, and wheel it out the back door. Back my truck right up to the sidewalk by the back door. Oh, look at here. We got someone in the basement. There he is. Oh, check out the shirt, man. That's
psychedelic, huh?
Oh, you betcha. That'll wake a person up.
How you doing, Sty?
I'm doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Hey, King Bluto, good to see you out there in the chat.
Getting ready to move, aren't you?
Yes. Nightmare.
No, I know. Well, could you imagine if you had to like move across the United States?
Oh man, not again.
I'm stressing on that. Not stressing. I'm just like, I'm going to get rid of everything. It's nonsense to pay $10,000, $15,000 to move your stuff when it's not even worth that, you know? So
that's it. Is the only I moved like, what is it, maybe 300 miles from Minnesota into Wisconsin. That wasn't terrible, but it was so inconvenient. But because I made multiple trips with smaller rig, you know, just rented a rig. But when we moved from Minnesota to Montana, we had sold off at least half of our belongings, and there were 5 families. We all moved together at the same time out there to the same big piece of property.
Wow.
And we put our heads together, and I told them, I said, I know where I can get a semi-trailer dirt cheap. And they said, how much? I said, $1,000.
Oh, wow.
I said, all we have to do is find someone with a tractor willing to pull it out there. And it took a little while before we found someone an independent that was willing to pull it out there and was able to figure out a tag load he could pick up in Montana and bring back this way. And so once he said, yeah, I can do it, well, we held auctions and sales and got rid of everything. All 5 families got rid of everything we didn't want to keep. And we had a 50-foot trailer, and we packed that bugger right up to the doors.
Wow.
And the only nice thing about it wasn't nice because where we moved to, there were no buildings. It was just a big 80-acre parcel.
Oh, no kidding.
With about a little less than 10-acre spot in the center that was just a big meadow. And we all had campers, and we headed out there in a big caravan, and the truck picked our trailer up and was going to be dropping it off day after we got there. We got there and we circled our wagons, and sure enough, here comes that semi-trailer, and parked it in the middle of that clearing and said, there we go, we're at home. That's that. But moving from Montana back, I got rid of 90% of the stuff we hauled out there to start with.
Yeah.
And we hadn't accumulated much over 4 years. So I managed to haul everything back in the trunk on the roof of my LTD Ford, a 1970 LPD, and pulled a speedboat behind it, just packed high with stuff and tarps.
Wow.
And that was everything we owned, and headed up from Montana to Wisconsin.
That's
Made
great.
Made that 24-hour drive from western Montana to Minneapolis area.
24 hours, that's what it took, huh?
Yeah. 24 hours of actual road time.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of, I already got rid of one kayak. I have another kayak. It's a fishing kayak. And of course, I'm not taking all my barbecuers. And then it's like I go into my tools of my air compressor and, generator and all that garbage too. So it's.
Oh boy.
They're big things.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's my time to tell that story. So I'm going to tell the story, bud. I'm not going to put you down. Being it's just you and I'm going to leave you on up here with me.
All right, I'll hang out.
Yeah, there's plenty of room here. Okay, folks, here's your Sty story. That, as I try to always do, right at the half-hour mark, and we'll get it done and out of the way. Tonight's story that came out of the hat was Big Bang. All right. Now, we were talking about my move to Montana, and this happened out in Montana. We lived in this little town out there that at the time had a population of 180 people. I actually looked it up this afternoon when I saw what the topic was going to be for tonight. And I looked it up, and boy, the town has grown. It's got 223 people in it now, 30 years later. So it's growing. Almost a person a year, That's pretty big. It's a baby booming town, I guess. But it was a tiny town. And the next closest town to us only had a population of, I think it was 46 people. And that little town didn't have nothing in it but a post office and a restaurant. Otherwise, all the other businesses in that town had long closed up. So, tiny little towns, way on the western border with Idaho, but on the Montana side. There was nothing close to us of any population. That's right in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. We were in what they called the Cabinet Wilderness area. And we were in a valley. So there's nowhere really for them to establish towns. The closest town larger than the one I lived in was about a 45 to 50 minute drive. And there were two towns pretty close to each other. And you put the two of them together, might have a population of 2,500 people. The only larger town was our county seat, which was about an hour and 10 minutes from where we lived. And that had a population of about 3,500, maybe 4,000 people. And that's virtually the whole county. I mean, anybody else left in the county lived dispersed all over the place in the wilderness out there. They had very remote homes. There, it's very common. If you had a house that wasn't in one of the towns, your nearest neighbor is typically a good mile from you at least, So you didn't see clusters of homes anywhere. So when down in town, when a holiday occurred, the town would always put a little something on, to celebrate. And all of a sudden, that town goes from 180 people to about 400. There'll be all of a sudden there's 400 or 500 people in town. Well, there's a Sty story that has to do with one of the two bars that were in that town. But it's a Christmas Story. So I'll probably tell that on Christmas Day. But for the 4th of July, Christmas was a big deal in that town. A lot of people showed up. 4th of July was a big deal in that town. Now, the reason in that little town it was such a big deal for holidays is our town had the only doggone school for about a 50-mile radius. So everybody sent their kids to that school. So the school was quite large because it provided an education to all the kids in literally 3/4 of the whole county. All went to that one school. So 4th of July was a big deal. Oh yeah, decorate up the storefront because we only had one store. It was a mercantile, kind of a hybrid between a hardware store and a grocery store, all melded together. We had a post office. We had 2 bars, 1 restaurant, and that was town. That was our town. And they were all on the same side of the street. Main drag goes past them all. They're all on the same side of the street. Because the opposite side of the street, there was a nice park, right? What we call downtown. There was a nice park, picnic tables and the sort, and a beach, because the Clark Fork River went right past the front of town. Now, if you're coming into this town, you have to cross this really long bridge. It's probably about 600 to 800 feet long, and it's 1 lane. So when you pull on it, the bridge is just short enough that you can see if there's somebody on the other side coming your way. You had to wait. It was 1 lane. That's all that bridge was to get across the Clark Fork River. Well, where the river went past town, they put a nice beach in because it's so 90% of the year it's such slow current there you can safely swim, and it was a nice sandy shoreline. So they put in a nice beach right there at that little town park. Well, on the 4th of July, that town park and all of Main Street packed tight with people. And we had a parade that lasted about 10 minutes. And during the parade, the crowd there in town was reduced by 50% because half of them there were in that parade. So, only half of the people got to watch the parade. The other half were in it. And barbecues. Everybody's barbecuing. You kind of get your own groups together and you pitch in and you have a barbecue there in the city park, town park. So you got all these barbecues going on down in the park, and never fails, everybody's visiting the other barbecue and the other, right? So you're eating food from all these different barbecues because you're roaming, and they come to yours and eat, you go to theirs and eat, and that's just the way it was. The atmosphere was really good. It was a very, very warm feeling you had being there, and these folks are very patriotic. I mean, yeah, they're all country folk, and they love being patriots. And well, then comes the end of the day. Now everybody's been imbibing a little bit throughout the day. It's getting close to sunset, and everybody's feeling pretty good. Well, we had a search and rescue. We had a search and recovery team, one of each. Search and recovery is when somebody's been lost for weeks and you're out there just looking for remains. Search and rescue is you just found out somebody's been missing less than 24 hours. Now you might be out there for weeks searching for that person, but it's a rescue situation. So we had those 2 teams. We had an ambulance crew. It was a big ambulance crew. We had 4 people. 2 EMTs and 2 drivers, 1 ambulance. We had a volunteer fire department. And we had 3 trucks and I think 15 people on the fire department. So we had those components that make a community, right? But they're very small. They're very small. We didn't have a town cop. Our law enforcement, we depended on one deputy sheriff from close to our community and another one that was from way across the county. And those 2 split shifts in our end of the county. So there's only one cop ever around. Well, on the 4th of July, our local deputy sheriff would be there. But he's there all casual. He's not drinking, but he's there to enjoy the 4th, right, with everybody else. He's just a little bit of law presence. One thing we did do, though, with the volunteer fire department is put on one hell of a fireworks show. Boy, did they stick a lot of money into their fireworks. I helped them one time. It was a blast. It was a blast. Great fireworks. The kind of fireworks you expect to see in a city of 10,000 or more. And here you got 400 or 500 people. You're not even rubbing elbows. It's such a big, huge park, and everybody's spread out. You're not even bumping elbows. And you're enjoying some of the best fireworks in the whole western part of the state. So people start grumbling about when are the fireworks going to start? When are they going to start? When are they going to start? Well, it was posted all over. The fireworks are going to be at 10 o'clock sharp. So don't forget to be there, kind of thing. And people were, like usual, they want to have everything soon. And by 9:30, it's getting pretty close to sunset. And they start grumbling. It's getting dark enough that we can see those fireworks, And us guys on the fire department crew are trying to tell these people, not till 10. And somebody yelled, "What's that coming down the river?" Well, me and 2 other guys from the fire department, we walked through the park. It's not far. The park is only about maybe 300 feet from the road to the water's edge, but it's long. It's got to be 2 football fields long. It's got to be a good 600 yards long, this park. And we're walking down to where the beach is at, and there's kids out there still swimming, and it's getting close to sunset. We look, and sure enough, here's something floating down the Clark Fork River. Now, the Clark Fork River in that spot is 2/3 of a mile across. It's a huge distance. And this thing floating down the river is kind of close to our shoreline towards town. And none of us could make out just what the heck it was. And then all of a sudden we realized it's like a homemade raft. It was some styrofoam logs with boards. You could tell they were tied to the logs, and it looked like some homemade raft, and it's floating down. And it looked a little unusual because right in the center of the raft was a box. Great big old wooden box. And everybody's watching that raft coming down the river. And one of the guys said, "Man, it's coming in pretty close here to town. It might get close enough at the beach here that somebody could swim out there, grab it, pull it in, see what the heck it is. Somebody up the river by the dam must have lost it. And we should snatch it before it gets down to the next dam." And I told them, "Nah, let the thing go. Let the thing go. Let the dam crew down at the next dam deal with it." And I said, "Look, it's too far out." It was about 50, 60 yards out, 150, 200 feet or so out from the shoreline. And it's getting real close to the beach. Well, now people are so fascinated by what the heck is that. They all come down to the lake's edge. They're all standing along the lake edge. Then you see that box, the whole top of it all the way around, it's got these little American flags on it. You know, the old red, white, and blue is just blowing in the wind, and it's come by. And we started laughing, saying, oh, it's somebody celebrating the 4th by sending something patriotic down the river kind of deal. It's pretty cool. Just as it gets damn near center to where the beach is. But now, mind you, it's a couple 100 feet out. That's the biggest damn explosion I've ever seen in person. That, when it went off, it sent a column of water up in the air at least 250, 300 feet. And it was just like a giant water-filled mushroom cloud. All of a sudden, there's pieces of wood and styrofoam and tons of water landing on all these people that are down at the river's edge. It's plummeting us. I mean, just boom, 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 boom. Everybody's running and screaming. And yeah, it blasted shrapnel all over the place. Well, our deputy sheriff, he was sitting on a beach towel, jumped up and was running towards the shoreline, tripped over somebody laying on the beach, ended up breaking his left wrist. People are trying to run away from it. And us guys on the fire department and the 4 folks on the ambulance crew were in a panic. How many injuries are we going to have and on it? And it took a few minutes for us to realize nobody's hurt. Nobody's really hurt except the deputy. He messed his wrist up over there. Otherwise, nobody's hurt. That's good. Then the light came on. What was it? And who did it? Well, they found enough remains of the box. It was dynamite. And we had a couple of folks in that crowd. Now, mind you, where I lived, there were only a couple things you did. You're either a logger, you owned your own business, and it was a service type business, restaurant, bar, something like that, or you were a miner. Well, both the loggers and the miners in that area used dynamite, and quite frequently. The loggers were using it to blast log jams out of small creeks that they were using to float logs. They used it to clear roadways. The miners, of course, used it underground. And we got chatting about it, and it's dynamite, but now who the heck would have access to that much dynamite? And how much did they actually use? And who were they? Oh man, it didn't take long, and we all kind of figured it out, because we had one person in our community that was a powder monkey for the local mining company. And that boy's been he was in munitions in the military. Out of the military, he went right into doing the same thing. He worked for a demolition company as their charge expert. I mean, this guy could blow anything up. Then he went to work for the mine, and the mine paid him dearly, and he got a really good retirement package from them. And he was always underground blasting, and he was a pro. So right away we thought, he's the only one around here in our communities that would know how to set that up and get it to blow off right out front of town like that, right out front. Well, a few of us, a couple days later, confronted him. And of course, he wouldn't admit it, Oh no, I had nothing to do with nothing to do with it at all. And this group of us that were talking with him broke up, and everybody left except me and one other fella. And I looked at him. Now this fella, everybody called him Dude. You know, I can't even remember his actual first name. He was just known as Dude. And I stuck around, and my buddy stuck around. And after everybody was out of earshot, I go, Dude, I want the truth, man. Did you do that? Did you do it? And he smiled at me and he goes, I want to stick with my story that no, I didn't. He says, because if I do, I'm the only proof whether I did or not. He said, I made sure of that. And I go, you just admitted it. He says, no, I just made sure that I'm covered. You know, I got an alibi, I'm covered. He says, it wasn't me. Here comes his grown-up adult son. Now, Dude should have been retired, man. I think he was like 68 years old at the time. And, you know, he's still in the ground and still getting paid big money. And here comes his adult son, who was a Vietnam vet back in those days. This is back in the mid-1980s. And his son comes walking up, and he's carrying a plastic chest that's got a hinged lid on it. He's carrying that. And he walks right up, doesn't even pay attention to me and my buddy. And we knew his son, George, it was his name. We knew him real well. George walks up, doesn't even pay attention to us. And he looks at his dad and he goes, Dad, where do you want me to put the other half of this dynamite that you didn't put on the raft? I looked at Dude and I go, guess what? You're busted. You're busted. Well, then he fessed up. He had 18 sticks of dynamite on that little raft. And the odd thing about it is it would have still been an amazing event if he would have just used a couple of sticks. 18 was such an overkill. And I told him, I said, did you ever think, what if something went haywire and that bugger made it down to the next dam and bunched up against that dam and then it decides to detonate? He says, couldn't happen. Couldn't happen. He said, the way I rigged that up was with just the right amount of actual fuse. That was fused dynamite. That was not electronically set off. He said, I knew exactly how much time I had from the minute that lit till it would go off. And he said, and for 5 nights, I pushed that raft out there with the approximate same weight in that box. And we ran down just south of town and we'd watch and time it till it got to somewhere near the park. And that's how much fuse I used so that it would get there and go off out front of town. He says, but wasn't it neat? Wasn't that a great 4th of July? I told him, I said, all I can say is it was one big bang. One big bang. I can still remember how it felt. It felt like your heart stopped when it went off because you're so damn close. You're only a couple hundred feet away from it, for crying out loud. And he says, yeah, but if you know the physics, you'd realize that the water really took the impact of that blast. He says it deadened the impact. And he says, and that's probably why you felt the concussion more, though. He says, because that sound and those basically this like seismic waves travel quite fast through the water, and you were all on the water's edge. So when it came out the other end at the beach, you felt it that much more. He says, but you weren't close enough to get blown up or nothing. I said, we would have been if the wind had changed. And if anybody in town finds out you're the one that set that off and scared the whole damn town half to death, guess what? There's going to be one more big bang, and that's going to be that deputy coming out here and popping you with his sidearm. I said, yeah, goofball. I said, and he goes, it's the 4th of July. They'll never forget in Knoxon. I said, yeah, right. That's for sure. Anybody that stays there will remember it. Will remember the dynamite going off at the beach. And fireworks that night, after everybody had calmed down, fireworks that night, people commented days later about, yeah, the fireworks were okay. They were good. They were okay. They didn't seem as loud and impactful as usual, but, well, it's because you just listened to something that was about 10 times as strong as anything we had as far as the noise it makes. I should have titled it The Biggest Bang, because I haven't heard, like I said, I used dynamite when we had farm. I moved a couple of embankments, but that dynamite went off underground to move. Basically, all I wanted to do was level a big long hillside, bring it down level. So all it did was, when the dynamite went off, it loosened, lifted the ground, and laid it back down, and it was nice and level. But and that, you just kind of felt it go through your body, that rumble, boom, there were no big clouds, no big explosion. It wasn't as big a bang as that crap being on a raft. So there you go. That's the Big Bang, folks. Yep. Look out for a father and son team. And by the way, they lived together and they lived alone. Mom had passed away. George had been divorced for years. So it's just those two old bachelors living together. George I believe he was in his late 30s at the time. And his papa was 68 years old. And they had dynamite. How much of it was registered? I wouldn't even venture to guess. Something tells me dude was bringing a stick home every once in a while in his lunchbox. Big mining company would have never figured it out.
Yeah.
Not in that day. Now I wouldn't try it. But.
Oh, you're getting a lot of trouble nowadays.
Oh, yeah. You don't even want to imply that you got your hands on it. You better have all your paperwork in order. Actually, for domestic use, like on the farm, it would take almost 6 months by the time you put your permit in. And they inspect the site, and they'll tell you what they want you to do. Then they finally approve the permit. Then it'll take you another 2 weeks to order it and get it delivered to you. And you have to use it the day it's delivered, unless you can prove you've got a in-ground bunker to store it. And I was smart. I excavated a in-ground bunker for storage. It passed their snuff, so I was able to store it for almost a week before I used it. But yeah, bang!
You felt the concussion.
Oh yeah,
from it.
Yeah, that was quite the deal. I got to look back. I'm certain I did a Sty story about it already. But yeah, my ex-wife had found some old, very old dynamite on the property we lived on in the backcountry.
Oh, wow.
And I came home. I was down in town, and I got home, walked in the cabin. I go, wow, it's nice and warm in here. And she says, yeah. She says, it's nice. She said, I can get a fire going in about 10 minutes in that stove now. And I go, what you do? What you? Because she always had trouble with the stove, always. And she says, not anymore. I said, what you do? She said, well, I found this. I don't know what it is, but it's like wax paper things, a bunch of them. And she said, but they were pretty wet, and because they were outside. And she said, but now I've been trying to dry them out all day. And she said, now they're just like they're pasty and damp, but it's more like an oil than water. I said, you got one? Show it to me. What you talking about? And she had this big family-sized box of Rice Krispies, empty, but it was packed full with sticks sticking out of the top, and set it on the table right in front of me. And I had just watched her grab it, and it was maybe 8 inches from a steaming hot wood stove.
No.
And I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And she goes, what? And she went to grab it. I said, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't mess with that. Why? I very carefully got a stick out, and I wiped some of the dirt and crap that was on it off. And sure enough, there it says that it's dynamite, and its run date, in other words, when DuPont, it was made by DuPont, and its run date was in, I don't remember the month, but the run date on it was 1962, and this was 1986. Yeah, so really not something you want to mess with. And the way I got rid of it is I burned it, but I went out in the middle of a big open meadow with a big pile of wood, scrap that we were gonna. It was a brush pile to burn, and I just put it in the pile and got the pile perimeter of it lit, and we got back about 1/8 of a mile. and watched it burn up. And it did. It burned it all up. But boy, that stuff, yeah, not something you want to mess with, But these powder monkeys, they're so used to handling it that it's like Dude said. He said, if you've never had an accident with dynamite, you truly aren't afraid of it. He said it's when you have a close call with it, whether you caused it or somebody else caused it, you have a close call with it, then it makes you nervous. Yeah. Hey, Shadow Scout Sweet, Joran is in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, he'll be making his breakfast before long.
Yeah, he's over. It's early over
in the UK. Yeah, well, Sweden. Yeah. Yeah, what is it? You're on 2 o'clock in the morning? Yeah. He'll jump on, and after a while he'll go, well, I'll be here, but I'm making my breakfast. Yeah. Saltwater Born, great to see you. Lawn Dog, I've been watching you and reading your comments.
Most of my life, I've gotten up, grab a cup of coffee, and out the door. Never sat down and enjoy a cup of coffee or breakfast or anything like that. It's always go.
Yeah, that's me. I don't do breakfast. I wish I could, but I just don't do breakfast. I save it for dinner. That's one thing this week. I have to say the last 3 days, maybe that's why I feel extra tired today, because the last 3 days I ate pretty good. I ate a lot more than I typically do each day. So I was telling Running Water I don't have an appetite right now. I'm just not hungry. I just because I ate so much the last 3 days. I would say I ate 3 to 4 times than I normally do. Yeah. And,
well, that's kind of good,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Yeah, I'm running. Yesterday, I figured I took in 2,600 calories, where typically
Oh wow.
I'm taking in 6 to 900.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, so yeah, and but I told Running Water I was
Oh
so
my.
busy around here. Oh, it's 3:05 there.
Yeah, it's early.
The but yeah, I the lawn dog's supper came out great. Nothing was compromised. Yeah, it came out great using their fire, but I had to watch it. That yeah, them onion rings I found in my freezer the other day freaked me out when I saw that they were from early in the year in 2018. Yeah,
Oh, you said onion rings?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Frozen ones to drop in the deep fryer. Uh, um, yeah, lawn dog uses an air fryer. That's cool.
Um, I have an air fryer cookbook around here somewhere. Yeah, I haven't. It's downstairs.
Yeah, I've tasted a few foods made in the air dryer or the air fryer, and I thought they were pretty damn good. The
Yeah, it's like a convention oven, is what it is. It's all really
yeah,
what it is.
yeah, yeah, and it's to me, it's still if I want something to have that deep fried flavor, it's got to be deep fried, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
this.
healthy, that healthiness.
Hmm. Yeah, out west, my kids. In fact, I had one of my kids day before yesterday say to me, "Well, once you get settled at Running Waters, you have that big kitchen. Can I come up and you can make a big batch of Rocky Mountain donuts that we can take home?" And I told them, I said, "Not anymore. I ain't doing that shit no more." They said, "Oh, come on." I said, "Oh shit." And I take this big cast iron chicken fryer I got that it's got a good 4 inches sides on it. Load her up with oil, and I I make bannock, camp bread, bannock, and I add sugar, some sugar, and cinnamon to it, and nutmeg. There's a few minor ingredients. I mix up that dough and I keep it a little pasty. It's just barely sticky. It's not where you could form it into something because it'd stick to your hands too much. And I just take spoon loads of it, drop it in that hot grease, and boy, they puff right up, and they're like big old donut holes in there. And then you throw them in a big paper bag full of sugar and cinnamon, shake them up, and then lay them out on racks and let them cool off. And
Sounds good.
used to make those up in the back country when we didn't have any electricity and
Oh wow.
you couldn't get to town, and the kids were starving for little Debbie's or some shit like that.
Yeah.
I said, I think I got an idea that'll get you by. Well, they fell in love with them damn things, and they're always saying, "Make some more, make some more." I said, okay, yeah. We bought our flour by the 50-pound bag, so it wasn't as if I didn't have enough fixings to make them. It's just pain in the butt. I could have been out hunting and hiking and all kinds of stuff. Instead, I'm at home making these damn Rocky Mountain donuts. The baked potatoes, baked sweet potatoes, hot dogs, listen. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Toaster ovens. I like toaster oven for certain things, but then there's a lot of things I didn't like in the toaster oven. It just, I don't know why they don't seem to cook up as well. But the
You ever used an air fryer?
no.
I have once or twice. We have two of them here. It's just I hardly use it. It's nice. It's almost like a little oven. It's got a door.
Right.
This one does, and the second one was a little different, but comes out pretty good. I bought a recipe book just because I wanted to start using it, and I haven't started using it yet.
I had one of those. I don't even remember what they're called, but looks like a giant toaster oven, but it's got a spit in it.
Oh yeah.
And you could cook roasts and chickens and the like in that thing. And oh my God, we loved that thing. Make rotisserie chicken, and the roast would turn out so nice in that damn thing. The ex-wife went and sold it in the yard sale, and I said, "Why'd you sell it?" She said, "Well, I sold it right along with that fajita cooker that you got." And I said, "You sold that?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, you haven't used them in a while. I figured you didn't have any use for them, so I sold them." No. Running water. Rocky Mountain Donuts sure beat Lester's Bogey Buns. Yeah, I did that as a Sty Story, Lester's Bogey Buns. This guy, a bunch of us, we got together and we were prepping at the time. Big time preppers. We put, at 1980s prices, put over $10,000 worth of foodstuffs up. Wow. And one thing we put a lot of up in food grade plastic barrels was hard red wheat. It holds for so long. I mean, you can keep it in those barrels. You spray the inside of the barrel, you mist it with 35% hydrogen peroxide, and then you fill it full of the grain, and then you vacuum seal the barrel. No critters, nothing survives in there. That peroxide kills all the germs out of there. And we had people go, you don't spray your food with peroxide. Are you freaking mad? Have you ever been to a Lay's potato chip factory and watched those bags come down? Mm-hmm. And the bag gets blown open. They use pressurized air. The bags are all flat coming onto this conveyor line. It pulls the bag up, and a little shot of air goes, and it blows the bag up, and it drops the chips in. But then it gets another shot of air, and then it goes through the sealer. People don't realize, they don't understand that second shot of air isn't just straight air like the first shot. Second shot of air is
like a cleaner, disinfectant or something.
It's 35% hydrogen peroxide. Oh, wow. And it goes through an atomizer, and it goes in basically as a gas. And that's why it goes right through the sealer. It shoots that, goes right through the sealer. It seals that hydrogen peroxide in the bag, and it kills everything in it. Lawn Dog, I know for a fact it's 35% food grade hydrogen peroxide because it was at the Lay's potato chip factory in Detroit, Michigan, that I actually witnessed it, and I talked to their purchasing department and asked them, where the hell are you getting that food grade hydrogen peroxide at 35%? And they told me, and we ordered 4 55-gallon drums of it when we moved to Montana, and we used it for preservation purposes, sterilization of things. It's kind of dangerous, 35%. You got to be damn careful with it. It ain't that shit you can buy in the grocery store, you buy at the drugstore in the bottle. No. The 35% will burn the skin right off you. I mean, it's not going to just turn your skin a little white. It'll burn you. You get a regular full-size drop on your finger. You want to wipe it off and run some cold water on it because it's going to burn. It's going to burn. I've been burned enough times with 35%. Yeah, they don't want any. The oxygen side is, if there's bacteria in the bag and all you're putting in there's oxygen, you could trigger the bacteria to grow and other critters. It's like with flour. I mean, you go buy flour, commercial flour. I go, oh,
Sorry.
That's all right. But yeah, you buy commercial flour and you look at it and it's perfect. You can take and put that in sealed plastic containers, stick it in your pantry, and a year later, run it through the sifter and it's full of weevils. Oh, that, yeah, you showed us that. The cranberries, the Thanksgiving breakfast.
Yeah, that's what I made. That's it right there.
That was,
turned out pretty good.
That's still on my mind.
It turned out okay. You know, you learn when you do something for the first time. You go, well, next time I'll do this. You know.
Yeah. Bannock was the original.
Bannock.
Capital. Yeah. It was the original capital of Montana. Yeah, there's certain things about Montana I miss. I really like the lack of sales tax. I hope they've kept that in place. And I like the fact that the upper panhandle of Idaho and Spokane, Washington, all the retailers in Spokane and absolutely all the retailers in the panhandle of Idaho, if you showed them your Montana driver's license, they want something recent that showed your address and that you are from the state, and they would tax exempt us. So we went into Idaho quite often and bought our supplies in Idaho because there was no tax for any items. Yeah. Like here in Wisconsin, food is not taxed, but everything else is taxed. And certain foods are taxed. Candies, pop, just certain foods are taxed because they're not considered mainstay foods. You know, that they're just treats. So it's a sin tax, of course, you know.
Did you like Montana?
I loved it. I liked the state quite well. Yeah.
Because I bet you there's some nice places out there.
Can't afford them anymore. Can't afford to live there. Couldn't afford to live there in '84. I was fortunate because my first 18 months in Montana, I was very well employed. After that, it was time to get very creative. You either created your own work because, like I said, there's only three types of employees out there. You're either a government employee in some kind of government position, you're a logger, or you're a miner. Well, that's the only work that's available in the Western Rockies, the state of Montana. They always said when we got the property out there, they said, make sure to bring your income with you. You know, all your other belongings and everything are important, but not as important as bringing your own income, because there are no jobs. And the Clark Fork Valley, everybody in the Clark Fork Valley, it didn't matter where, all the way from Missoula all the way to Idaho, you could stop in any one of those little towns along the way, go into one of their local restaurants and say, look at somebody sitting there and say, how long you been in the ditch? And they know exactly what you're talking about. And every one of them have heard the story that once you fall in that ditch, you look around and you go, oh, it's freaking beautiful. It's a shame you can't eat the scenery.
Yeah.
You know, because man, we'd all be fat just from the scenery. But once you're in the ditch, your biggest mistake is to go to work in the ditch, because now the ditch keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. You get committed to the point where you never can actually save enough resources to get the hell out without losing your butt, you know. But if you're smart and you're willing to put the effort into it, you can get by pretty good out there. Hey, Swampy Acres Homestead, great to see ya. Great to see ya. Yeah, I started a huckleberry camp out there. I picked huckleberries for a couple of years out there. The 1 year did really good. Yeah, making in the tens of thousands of dollars a year for a 3-month season.
Mm-hmm.
The huckleberries, true wild huckleberries, are worth their weight in gold down there. At that time, back in 1984, the first year I picked huckleberries, when I started, they were $20 a gallon, and in '85, I was getting $26 a gallon for huckleberries, and I was able to pick 5 gallons an hour.
Five gallons in it. That's a lot of picking, man.
And I could pick on that average for 4 hours a day. So you're making over $100 an hour. So you're making about $600 a day. And I was doing that 7 days a week during the huckleberry season. You can imagine how much money a person is making.
That's crazy.
It's all in the type of picker you use.
Mm-hmm.
And the pickers they use, you only find them in Montana. You find them in Oregon, Washington State, because there's the wild huckleberries up in the high country in both those states. You don't find them as much, but better than 90% of them are made in Montana and then sold to people elsewhere, because not a lot of people make them. Not a lot of people make them, and they're not commercially made. People try using blueberry pickers because they kind of look like, but a huckleberry picker is unique to picking huckleberries, nothing else. And we call them twangers because they got all these metal wire teeth on them that are dull on the ends, and they're tipped up a certain angle. And as you pick off the bush, they go twang, 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 twang.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you got half a dozen pickers in a single patch, man, that's all you hear is the pickers singing. That's what I had guys picking with me, and I always told them I want to hear those pickers singing, because if the choir gets quiet, I'm going to get loud. Yeah, keep those pickers moving. But yeah, I did that, and that fed us for 2 years quite well. And yeah, there's a lot you can do, and there's a lot of odd work if you're willing to do. If you're multifaceted in the things you can do, and you put that word out, yeah, you can make enough to cover the rent and feed yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, lawn dog.
Yeah.
I have Bigfoot lives out back here by me. You know, his whole family's right back here, probably 20 minutes away.
Yeah, basically it was a river basin. It was called Blue Creek, and it goes right into the heart of the Cabinet Wilderness. There are no roads into it at all. You can't get within. Oh, I think the closest you can get to it by road is about 9 miles. It's a little over 9 miles, and it comes into a box canyon, and it's huge. It's about 3 miles across that canyon, and it's just a bowl, and it's all steep cliffs all the way around except for one spot you can come over and you can actually work down the face of that and get down in there. The gorge where the river leaves that canyon is so narrow, and it's just sheer rock, so you can't get out by water because there's a stinking waterfall right there that drops about 130 feet. The only way in is that one spot, but you know when you come up over the ridge and you look down into that box canyon, you're going, oh yeah, you don't want to be down in there. You don't want to go down in there. Yeah, I went down in there and saw some odd things, and I was warned before I even went up there. Everybody said you want to have a Sasquatch sighting, that's go up to Blue Creek, up to the Box Canyon. And it's weird because there's trails going up towards it, and they get within about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from the ridge to look down into that Box Canyon, and they turn and go right around that whole area, at least a couple miles away from that whole canyon. None of those hunting trails go up to the canyon, and the elk hunters go up there, and they always say you don't hunt on the canyon side of the trail. That trail's, you follow that trail and you hunt between the trail and known civilization. You don't hunt back there. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's just like Lawn Dog was saying, that's again, that's some of that country where you look in there and you go, oh yeah, if anything is there, it can stay well hidden in there. Yeah, you'd have to send one hell of a lot of people in there to find anything that decides it doesn't want to be found. With that rocky, it's got plenty of high mountain meadows, and the forest is so damn thick. And yeah, weird.
Well, I got to go get ready for work.
You betcha, totally understood.
Because I don't like shaving in the morning, you know.
Yeah,
nails and get cleaned up and probably eat something and then go to bed. I get up at 3. So.
Yeah. I was gonna say I thought you got up something around 3 or 4 o'clock. You didn't, so I was glad.
Are you getting anybody to help you?
On the 27th of December, I have Running Water and then Travis from Tales of the Campground Host.
That's right. Yep, I remember that.
Those two are going to help me out. So
okay, well, you just you take it easy.
Oh yeah, it's got to be on my time, man. It's just and I got just enough time that it'll all get done.
Are your son's time getting his stuff out?
Yeah. See, now I haven't been over there for 2 days. Let's see, since. No, actually, I wasn't there Thursday. I wasn't there Friday, and I wasn't there yesterday. So that's 3.
And 5.
I wasn't there today, so I'll be there though tomorrow morning. So he had 4 full days. I'm not going to get my hopes up, but it's wishful thinking that tomorrow I'll see that over the weekend there's been a dramatic difference. Mm-hmm. And maybe I can get in there and do a little, at least rearranging and haul some of my things over and get them set in place. And got my fingers crossed. We'll see.
All right, sir. You have a
You
good
bet.
night and a
You
good
too.
tomorrow and all that good stuff. Everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a little
Don't
tired.
work too hard.
Yeah, I'm a little
Don't work
tired
too
tonight.
hard.
All right, sir. You take care, huh?
You betcha.
Yeah.
You
Bye.
betcha. You do the same.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
There we go. It's always great chatting with Mojo. Always great chatting with him. I think we'll keep this thing going for another half hour, probably. I'm up here kind of all alone, ain't I? If you haven't, share it out. Bring some folks over. The number of folks influences me to hang around. The way out in the country, away from civilization, all the trucks have 2 gas tanks on them. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that was where we lived up in the back country. It was pretty rugged in the summer. Spring, you didn't want to drive up in there in the spring. You're going to get your ass stuck for sure. But early summer till the first snow, we could get in and out with the heavy trucks. It was a rough ride though. The 6.5 miles of some real nasty road. But where we were at for that year living off grid, it's 6.5 miles to the nearest improved road, and then from there it's about another 3.5, 4 miles to this tiny little town. And really what that town was, other than their little restaurant and the 2 bars, it was the post office that was the most important thing. They didn't even have a gas station when we first moved there. It was the last year that we were there that a local person finally put in a gas station. And boy, did they get a lot of business, because there was no gas station. There was a gas station about 8 miles away from town, out in the middle of the boondocks. There was a gas station convenience store. And then a mile down the road from that, on one side, was a little diner, and that was the only businesses, near around town on the outer perimeter within 10 miles. And yeah. Living in California, being 10 minutes away from anything is surprising. Yeah. For me here where I live, I got fast food. I got an Arby's and a McDonald's just 2.5 blocks away. I've got the Shell gas stations 1.5 blocks away. Post office is 1.5 blocks away. I got businesses all. I can see them out my living room window if I look down into town. Because from my living room window, if you don't look down, you're just looking out over Lake Superior. That's why I picked this place. But yeah, jump in the car, and 10 minutes or less to anything and everything. Walmart, car dealerships, banks. We got, what do we have now? We got 4 banks in town. Main part of town before my car even gets warm. That's it. If I jump in my truck, well, like running water, my truck warms up faster. I jump in my truck. I get halfway to Walmart and I can start feeling the heat coming out. I jump in running waters. Just as I get to Walmart, his is right at the good temp. And the hey, Matt J, it's great to see you. Oh, it's good to see you, Matt. In fact, folks, I gotta do this. I gotta do it somewhere in the stream. This only takes less than a minute, so you know what's coming. My members. We'll get that out of the way right now. There you go. Oh, bunch of great people. The Running Water says 23 bars in town because Wisconsin. Yeah, our town at Running Water and I live in. We've got the bars everywhere. Everywhere. Bars everywhere. And like you said, it's because it's Wisconsin. Bars in a Wisconsin town, in some communities, and ours, it darn near fits the tab, bars are considered a public utility, kind of like water and sewer, garbage pickup, the police department, the fire department, the bars. It's a public utility. And people here get pretty upset when the bars are shutting down. That's like, oh my gosh. Oh, it's the end of the world. It's like their water's been shut off, Yeah, welcome to Wisconsin. Uh-huh. From being stuck in it's high off the road. Your thermostat ever gets stuck closed? The weep hole is enlarged a little bit, so water will always go through. Yeah. 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 Here it gets sub-zero quite a bit through the winter. And most vehicles here are running about 180 degree thermostat, and keeps the vehicle warms up quite well with that, and keeps it from overheating in the summer, because our summers can be at times, it's not continuous, but at times can be as severe as our winters. We get 95 all the way up to 98 degrees. And the worst part of it is very humid. So when we get the heat, it comes with a bunch of humidity. That's one thing I did love down in West Texas area, from Austin going west, and New Mexico. I love the dry heat down there. You want the car to heat up. Typical modern thermostat runs 190, but I don't know how that response will come in. Zero outside. Let's see. No, it don't take that long. I've got 185 degree in my Ford King Ranch, and literally within 5 minutes, I got heat coming out of the vents. Yeah, in 5 minutes. Yeah. when it's sub-zero, In fact, when we have snow and it goes sub-zero and that crap is all froze to your truck and all the windows are covered with ice, I can jump in the truck, start the truck, set all my settings, my defroster, put the fan on high and have it blowing throughout the whole rig. Turn on the rear window defroster, jump out, grab my scraper brush tool, and the windows scrape right off easy because they're already thawing out. And by the time I'm done scraping and sweeping off my truck, I get in it and it's warm. It's already warm. Yeah. Rain dancer, some of my vehicles I've had to use block heaters, but fortunately right now, my King Ranch, I don't need this. I've never had to plug it in. It's got a block heater in it, but I haven't had to plug it in. It starts right up, But yeah, out here in our parking lot, we've got, between our 3 parking lots for this big building, we've got about 60 vehicles parked out here. And you walk through, starting around Christmas time, you walk through and there's only about 1 out of 5 that's not plugged in. All the rest of the vehicles are all plugged in. They all got block heaters in them, and they want to be able to unplug, start it, and they got heat right away, and off they go. And some of the older rigs are running inline tank heaters, what we call tank heaters, that go inline in the heater hose. So your heaters, the heater core in the vehicle is preheated when you start it up. But you buy a new vehicle and 90+% of them have actual block heaters where it's heating the block of the engine, which I prefer over the heater hose. I believe it was a 76, and while under the car changing oil, I saw this electrical cord with a male plug on it. Yeah. Oh, hey, Rowan, Mountain Bushcrafters Alliance, MBA's in the house. Awesome. I got to listen to you, brother, right up until I went live tonight. Yeah. I gotta have my sad song Sundays before my stream starts. I love that. I love when he does his, where I get to watch his show right up until I have to move on, have to jump. And tonight I had to jump just a little early because my boy wanted to talk to me, being he couldn't be on the stream tonight. And I told him, I said, "You're interfering with my MBA." He laughed. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Matt J. That's great. That's awesome. Love it, man. Love it. Yeah. Matt's another one. Matt's great, man. Yeah, like I had said right at the front end of this stream, I might sound a little low key tonight. In that, man, this old man's feeling just beat tired tonight for some damn reason. It's not like I physically really had a hard workout or anything, but kind of a stressful day. Moving gives me anxiety, man. I hate moving with a passion. If I had my way, if this was a single little house and I was moving into the big house that I'm moving to, I'm telling you, I'd go rent me a U-Haul, that's twice as big as the stuff that I've got. And I'd back that right up to the front door, and I'd start hauling this crap in there. And I wouldn't care if it's boxed or not, because when I get to where I'm going with it, I just haul it in, put it up along the outside walls of the rooms, and then I'll take care of it once it's done and get that truck returning. I'm done. I'm out of here. That's the way I deal with it. But I'm not fortunate enough to be able to do that this time. I got to pack it. I got to pack everything. And I can move some things. Yeah. Oh, yeah, lawn dog. Yeah, you can get a block heater in a flash. You betcha. Yeah. At any car dealership, if you're ordering a car, all you do is say, oh, by the way, I want a block heater in that. And yep, they'll put it in there. In our neck of the woods, I haven't seen any vehicles delivered here at any of our 3 dealerships. And I know the mechanics at all 3 of our dealerships. I know them quite well. And at 2 of the dealerships, I know their sales staff, their salesmen quite well. And I asked them, I said, how do they know to put block heaters in them puppies before they ship them to us? And they said, in our region, they just, when they run them, it takes nothing for them to pop a tank or a block heater in them. It really doesn't take anything to put a block heater in. And they just do it. They just do it. So you go and you buy a new car, you see that cord hanging out behind the bumper in the front, usually, just hanging down a little ways. There it is. There's your tank heater or your engine block heater. Now, a lot of people down south will get vehicles that don't have block heaters in them because they don't need them. They don't need them down there. They don't get the sub-zero for a week in a row to freeze crap up, And you still need antifreeze in your vehicle. And that's how a lot of people that aren't mechanically savvy don't understand that either, is your antifreeze is the same as coolant. The coolant you put in your car is antifreeze. It does both. It keeps your engine cooler and it keeps it from freezing up. Yeah. Matt's out there throwing in the emojis. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, slap that thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you. Ring the bell. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Share and comment. In my lifetime here in California, I have bought at least 5 new cars, and not one of them had a block heater. Nobody I know has a car with a block heater. You must not know many people from the Midwest in the northern tier. The only people I know that don't have block heaters in their vehicles are people that build custom. They're building a hot rod or the like, and they just don't put a core heat or a tank or a block heater in it because they store the vehicle for the winter. And or someone that's buying a southern vehicle, somewhere in the southern tier, because they're rust free and you can get pretty sweet vehicles. Yeah, you get pretty sweet vehicles from down south. But that's the first thing is, are you going to run it in the winter? If you are, you better get a block heater in it. And make sure if you don't have a block heater in there, you've got plenty of antifreeze in it and that it tests out at, I always tell people, you need to test out a minimum of 20 below for our neck of the woods. If you test out at 25, 30 below, you're good. Yeah, you don't want a block heater in those. arid zones because there's no purpose for it. You would never ever use it. And yeah, the yeah, they do make them for the regions. One of my uncles was an executive for Chrysler, and in his plant that he was overseeing, all of those vehicles were being built for the Midwest and the Northern Tier, all the states along the Canadian border across 2 states down. And they put tank heaters in every vehicle that came off the line, unless someone opted out of it. It was just automatic. Those vehicles were all staying in the Northern Tier. So the yeah, -40. We'll never hit it. We'll never hit it. The historic temps up here, even if it hit -40, -50, you're only talking about 1 or 2 days of that kind of weather. Those are extreme and rare cases. And if you're at 25 to 40 degree below zero mix, what it does is if you're at -40 and it gets to -50, it'll take about 4 days, and the water that's mixed with your antifreeze will get slushy. It won't freeze solid and break anything. That's the nice thing about it, yeah. But you got to make sure that you check your antifreeze and make sure that it's, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Up here, antifreeze, that's what it's all for. But down south, it's all for coolant. And I drove over the road truck, and oh yeah, if you don't have your coolant levels high enough, you're going to be overheating. You're going to be boiling out your water. What's water boil at? 210, something like that. You're running around Texas, and it's 105 in the shade. It don't take long for your engine to hit 210. I guarantee you. Yeah, you want plenty of coolant in that engine because straight water won't work. Won't work. You're going to overheat for sure. Yeah, Samantha needs like -75. Yeah, no, actually, up there in the Anchorage and Fairbanks area, most people test out at -50. -50. I've got friends that live in Fairbanks, and he, in his work, he's got lots of vehicles and lots of heavy equipment, and he talks about that all the time, that his guys got to check the quality of their antifreeze and make sure that it's at -50 at all times. Yeah. Okay, Freeman James, you have a good night, brother. We'll see ya. Yeah, it's cold bugger up there in Alaska. Cold. My buddy from Fairbanks, he sent me this little video clip, and there was a tire mounted on the side of this pickup truck. You know, it had the indented box in front of the fender, so the spares mounted to the side. And he showed me ran this little video for me and said, check this out. And you look at that and you're going, well, what in the hell happened? Because it's got a hole in the sidewall of the tire, and it's all jagged, sharp edges. And it's like somebody took a razor cutter, a case cutter, and cut out a really weird star-shaped hole in the side of that tire. And he says, smart aleck in the mechanics department for him, for his operation. That truck had been sitting out there for the majority of the winter. And he said, we had one of those rare, extreme 60 below periods with super strong winds. He says, I don't even know what the actual wind chill was, but he went out and his buddy was filming and he hit the sidewall with a ball peen hammer and it busted that hole right through the rubber. Now that's freaking cold. That's like you dip that tire in nitrogen, for crying out loud. Yeah. Oh yeah, diesels. They're a chore. You want to make sure that the problem with the diesel is the fuel will gel up. It gets thick and gels up. Won't go through the injectors, And the I was lucky. My last truck I had, my fuel tanks had fuel heaters in them that ran off of the engine. So hot antifreeze was running through both tanks to keep my fuel from gelling up. And it had these periodic heater coils around the fuel line right up to the engine. That was all hot water from the cooling system running through them to keep my fuel lines from gelling up. I love that because I had a lot of trouble with a couple of trucks I ran. Rain Dancer says, I did a nursing assignment in Alaska, loved it. Even had a moose that lived in the neighborhood. That's cool. Running Water says, had a friend at Northland College who was from Laredo, Texas. His first winter, he was panicking because he didn't know how to swap his coolant for antifreeze. Okay, I've had a couple of. It was just one of them. A couple people had the same issue. There was somebody from South had moved to North and had mentioned, what do I have to do to change out my coolant to put some antifreeze in my car? I laughed. Just bring it over. We'll take care of you. And then when I tested it, he was at negative 20 below. And I said, you're good, man. You don't have to do nothing. Oh, no. My vehicle's all set up for down south. It'll freeze up. I said, no, it won't. No, it won't. It's got plenty of antifreeze in it. He says, no, it ain't got no antifreeze in it. It's got coolant. I just laughed at him. So fortunately, I had a gallon in my truck and I got it and I showed it to him. I said, read this. Oh, it's the same thing. I said, yes, it does both things. Yeah, moose in downtown Anchorage, not uncommon at all. Yeah. Almost like looking for blinker fluid. Yeah. Yeah. The other person was from up north here, and they were moving south, and they asked if, is there anything special I have to do, like change my antifreeze out for coolant, and they were coming down this list of things they should do for their vehicle, and we all had a good time laughing about that. Oh yeah, lawn dog. I actually had to do that once, but I know what happens. You don't want an open fire under there. A lot of people have done that. Yeah. Hey, scrapping together. It's great to see you. Great to see you out there in the chat. But I take my tractor semi-tractor. We had shut it down for 3 days because we were going to be off the road for 5. We shut it down for 3, and we had a nasty sub-zero crash. Couldn't get that thing to start, man. Could not get that thing to crank. There was nothing that was working. And I didn't want to buy a salamander heater, which that's what I usually would have with me, is a smaller salamander. And I just put a tarp all the way around the base of the truck, around the cab and over the fifth wheel, the frame. And then I'd put that salamander heater just underneath the tarp, poking in, and run that, and it would warm it up enough to crank her over and fire it up. Well, I didn't have a salamander. I didn't want to buy one. So I went and I bought 2 cheap charcoal barbecues and a couple of bags of charcoal, and I started both. Didn't put the legs on the barbecues, just started briquettes in each, and then I used this big long pole and shoved them underneath the truck under the oil pan, and then I had taken a piece of sheet metal and bent it. So it was like a pyramid, but it was about 4 feet long. And I slid that under there right over the tops of those barbecue grills. So there's no chance for open flame. And it took about 3 hours. And that's with the tarp all the way around the truck, because it was blowing like a devil, and it was like 20 below, right around there. And got in the truck, hit the starter, and vroom, fired right up. Yeah. Nice thing about it is I didn't have a trailer on, so I jumped out, pulled the tarp off, got the salamander heater out of the way, and I just drove ahead. Then I went and got rid of the barbecue grills. I didn't have to crawl back under it, you know. Ooh. You hear that rattling muffler noise? It's obviously the bearings going bad. Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes it's bearings, yeah. Right now I got a weird rattling, humming sound that I thought was in the drivetrain. I thought, I got a bearing going out or a U-joint going out. Nope, found out. It's exhaust. It's exhaust. It's right at the catalytic converter, and there's a heat shield goes around the catalytic converter and mounts to the belly of the floor, and 3 rivet spots have rusted out, and that thing's sitting in there rattling and humming, but only when you put a load on the truck. If you're idling along and you slowly hit the accelerator, it doesn't make any sound at all. Step on that accelerator and it goes, and you're like, what the hell? Because you can feel it coming right through the floor. And it's just exhaust, yeah. The duct tape in a beer can. Be careful with duct tape on exhaust systems too. Man, I've done that, man. Quick fixes and use duct tape. Had that shit catch on fire on my exhaust, on my exhaust, and it stinks like a heaven too. Yeah, lawn dog. That's a quick fix. Get you home to actually fix it. Yeah, Matt J. Break out the welder. The few times I had someone else actually install my exhaust, there's only one guy I go to, and he's done both exhausts where I had someone else do it instead of myself. And oh yeah, he welded the whole exhaust in with a MIG welder. It don't rattle, it don't shake, it don't leak. Yeah. In fact, I'm thinking of taking my truck to him this spring. Have him fix that issue for me because he's so good at it. The heat shield is vibrating and temperature can affect the way the sound is, depending on how it gets around that heat shield where the rivets broke. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I looked at it for JB welding it. I thought that I've used so much JB weld in the past too. That stuff's handy, ain't it? Yeah. And I I looked at it and yeah, it's so damn rotten. The heat shield itself is so rotten that JB might work for a month or two, but the shield will break around the JB. So the shield is shot. And what I'm going to do is just to get rid of the noise, which it's just a quick fix. I'm going to go under there and I'm going to cut the heat shield out. It's not a heat shield between the cat and the vehicle. It's a heat shield between the cat and the ground. Well, my rig's so high off the damn ground, I'm not worried about it. I don't park in high grass, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, JB is slick. I had a Massey Ferguson tractor that had a 4-cylinder Cummins diesel in it, and when we got the tractor, it burned some oil, and one cylinder was just off. It was just off. And we tore it down and we pulled the sleeves out of the cylinders. You know, they just got a steel sleeve that slides down in the block. Pulled the sleeves out, and the third hole, that sleeve had a hole burned through it. Why? I don't know. Hot spot for some reason. But it actually had a hole burnt into it. And so I got over there and I looked down in, used the mirror. It had just barely scored the block, just barely scored it. But you could tell it was pitted. There was a little bit of a hole there. So I took some JB weld, smeared it into that hole and wiped it off clean and flush. Ran that sleeve down in there and back out again. And we took and replaced that one sleeve, dropped it in there, put it all back together. Sucker, that was 35 years ago. And they're still using that tractor today, and they've never done a rebuild on it. So thank you, JB Weld. Yeah. Yeah, Matt tore his heat shields off. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Yeah. I had someone else. He had the same shield rattling away, and he took one of them big. Actually, he had to take two of those big hose clamps and connect them to get around all the way around it. And he just tightened that bitch up and tightened that sleeve right to the cap, and his noisemaker was gone. And like he said, though, you give it a few years up here with the salt on the roads, and that hose clamp is going to rot out. So he says, I'll have to replace it about every 2 years. I said, yeah, whatever, or cut the heat shield out, one of the two. Yep. Joran's going to go make himself a little breakfast. Yeah, there's a lot of things that. Oh, Engel's family's heading out. Hey, you have a good one. Thanks for being here. Yeah, sorry it wasn't a evening of a bunch of cartwheels and backflips, and this whole voyage just Sunday night, and I feel wore out, man. Feels like a Thursday evening after 4 12-hour days. That's the way it feels today. And I got things I still got to do tonight. I was going to shut this down about 10 minutes ago, but we'll keep it going for a while. Now I still got things to do. Right now, sitting across the room from me, I can hardly walk through here, man. It looks like a hoarder's house because everything's out of the cupboards and closets and cubbies, and it's all out in the room getting sorted, boxed, bagged, blah, blah, blah. Well, sitting over there right now, I have 8 13-gallon garbage bags full of things that I'm just pitching. I'm pitching. It's gone. It's out of here. Would people want some of that stuff? Maybe. Too late. It's going in the trash. I am not. I did have someone tell me today, they said, well, that's terrible. Some of those things people could use. I said, well, then they should go dig through the dumpster. Because I am not going through some of those things I wouldn't give to somebody unless I washed it or repaired it or something. And I'm not doing that. I don't have time to make this stuff, to me, transferable to someone else for good use. It's junk. It's junk, and it can be turned into something useful, but not for me. It's got to go. It's, priorities. And right now, my priority is to get everything packed and be ready to get out of here. So I got 8 bags that are going out. I went through all of my clothes. I lost so damn much weight that I've got 4 30-gallon bags full of clothes. Those, however, they're all clean. They're all clean clothes, folded, stacked in them damn bags. Now I've got a small collection of clothes that I can wear. But those 4 30-gallon bags are going across the way from where I live, about a block away. There's a place called the Bargain Hut, and they take donations of clean clothes and household items and stuff. So I'm taking all 4 of those bags to them. They'll get rid of those clothes in a flash. They're all in excellent condition. Anything that's rough or got a big tear in it or something, that went out in the trash. T-shirts and the like didn't go in the trash and didn't go over there because I'll turn those into shop rags, But that's 4 30-gallon bags. That's the hell out of here. I've got 2 big piles of cardboard boxes that things I have purchased came in that haven't been broke down yet. So I got those 2 piles to break down yet. And yeah, it's nuts. You have your trash collection like once a month. Allow the all stuff to be picked up once a month. Yeah, no, here they pick up our trash services weekly, but here in the building I live in that I'm moving out of, they come and they dump our trash every 2 days. Every 2 days. And at about 7 o'clock every evening, I can hear them down there. Dumpster divers are down there. They hit the recycling dumpster right away, and they nose around in the trash dumpster every night. And so, yeah, it turns over real quick. So I'm sure I'm going to throw these bags in there, and somebody's going to get in that dumpster. I'll probably throw them in there tomorrow, all of these junk stuff bags, and throw them in there tomorrow evening. And by the next day, all those bags will be cut or tore open, and they will have kind of dumped them out to see what they want to snatch up. But more power to them. Rain dancer. Chocolate, 350 calorie Ensure, 4 a day. Me, Ensure's not cheap. Me, I drink a strawberry and a chocolate. I have a chocolate in the morning and I have a strawberry at night. High protein Ensures. Um, yeah, we're not allowed to set anything out that's outside of the dumpsters. We're not allowed to dispose of any electronics, televisions, computers, computer screens. You're not even supposed to throw your cell phone in the garbage. No electronics. We're also not allowed to dispose of furniture, even if it's small furniture. Like, let's say you got a little 1 by 1 foot by 2 foot tall nightstand that's beat up and ugly, and you just want to get rid of it. You can't throw that in the dumpster. Nope, nope, nope. They catch you, man. The fines will get you. Running Water says, I got a couple of boxes to break down. No, he's got a couple rooms full of boxes to break down. And he ain't going to break them down. That little turd. He's got enough to do when he gets home. And I do, when we break Running Water's boxes down, I do want to set certain ones to the side, because for sorting and storing other things, they come in pretty damn handy, you know. Snatch and grab is better than smush and grab. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you know, I know a guy. We held a in our town. They have a citywide garage sale once a year, and that's where if you want to just do one garage sale for the year, yard sale, you go to the local newspaper here and you get this form and you fill it out, and they give you garage sale signs to put up, yard sale signs, and they run every yard sale in town for that weekend in the paper, and you can take that paper and it's got where the yard sale or garage sale is, the address and that, and what the times are for that weekend for once a year. So everybody in town holds a yard sale on that day at yard or garage sale. And I was amazed. Man, we made $1,800 spur of the moment getting rid of junk. But boy, did we get rid of stuff. Hey, Cinda Lou, it's great to see you. Awesome. But I'll never forget, we did that weekend, we made $1,800 right across the street from us. Big house there. And I watched him for 2 days hauling stuff out in his yard, put tarps over it and stuff. And I thought, boy, he's having a big sale too. I mean, our yard was, the whole damn yard was almost full of junk, you know. Well, first day of the yard sales, the citywide yard sales, because it goes from Saturday morning through till Sunday afternoon. Well, that Saturday morning, I go out, get ours all set up, stick the last couple signs out in the yard, and we're ready for the first customers. And I looked across the road. Here, this guy's got a big 4 by 8 foot sheet of plywood. He pounded 2x4s into his front yard and screwed that sheet of plywood to those 2x4s. And he had painted that sheet of plywood white, just bright white. And in big red letters put on there, free for all. And he's out there messing with stuff. I walked to the sidewalk. I yelled across to him. I said, you know, they're going to take everything. They're going to take your tables. They're going to take that sign. They're going to take everything. He goes, done deal. I don't care. I want it all to go. Tables can go. If they want the sign, the sheet of plywood and the 2x4s, they're going to have to tear it out and take it. I thought, boy, he's going to have a hell of a mess over there. That evening, just before sunset, I walked over that way and looked over there. All that was left was he had a little cardboard box with some PVC pipe pieces and a couple of little miscellaneous things sitting out at the curb. And while I'm looking, somebody pulled up in a pickup truck, didn't even look in the box. They ran around, grabbed it, stuck it in their box of the truck and took off. Everything was gone. It was all gone. He said, yeah, the heck with that yard sale stuff. I said, you probably could have made $1,000 off of the stuff you had out there. Easy. He said, I didn't care about the money. I just wanted that shit out of here. Gone. It's gone. And I didn't have to pay the dump to get rid of it. Yeah. He was a pretty bright crayon in the box. Yeah. Yeah. I put a couple of desktops together. In the past, I don't anymore. I let someone else do it for me. I'm just not patient enough anymore. Both of my desktops now are pretty damn dependable, and they're up and running good. And I'll upgrade again in a year or two, but not for now. Everything's running good. Yeah, laptops are one that I'm not investing anymore in laptops. My last 3 laptops, I didn't have them 6 months and they were so outdated to anything else out there that, to me, those laptops were just a waste of money. I can do certain things on my phone. Everything else I just do from my desktop. I do use my laptop out in the field to work on files, and I do editing and just some data management with it. Then I come home and I just jack it up and send it all over to the desktop. Oh yeah, it's usable, but yeah. Yeah. The upgrade license key of Windows 10. And yeah, I've got another desktop over there that I don't know what version of Windows is on it. The thing's ancient. I haven't a clue. Single core processor. Yeah. And the thing is, no matter what we do, the more responsive we get our systems, It's like mine now. It's quick. It's definitely quick. But it didn't take me but a month, and I'm going, you slow son of a blankety blank. But yet it's 4 times faster than what I had before I got the system. It's once you get used to the rate that a new system runs, it starts seeming slow to you, and it really isn't. It just seems that way, and I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling. Like, oh dang it, make me wait. And it might be 1 or 2 seconds. And it's just like, I should be right now, instantaneous, you know. Then you look up and you go, oh, I've got 21 tabs open. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 programs running in the background. And I'm whining because I could count to 2 or 3 before it finished processing something. But, yeah. Yeah, lawn dog. Yeah, that's fast. That's fast. We become very impatient people. Yeah. I ain't waiting for nothing, man. Make it faster. Faster. Um, yeah. I had an old 8088 3.5-inch floppy. No hard drive. Then I got, oh man, just thought I was the cat's ass. Had a 80 megabyte hard drive in it. Now we're talking about the dark ages, guys. Yeah. But my youngest boy got madder than hell when I said, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to throw it out. Because this is like 3 generations later. And I said, I'm just going to throw it out. Nobody's ever going to use it. Oh, no, you can't get rid of it. You cannot get rid of it. And I said, why? It's junk. And you can't even buy at that time, you couldn't even buy the 3.5-inch floppies. I said, so once them floppies are shot, it's dead on arrival anyway. He says, no, I've got copies, several copies of some awesome games I love to play on that machine that aren't forward compatible to the new systems. So I want to keep it. And so I let him have it. That great big bugger was about 2 feet long, sat about 10 inches high, and was about a good foot deep. A monster. It was a monster. Yeah, it was all. That's back in the pure DOS days. Yeah, pure DOS days. Putting up to 6 feet from me is an old Windows 98 machine that I wanted. Got turned into a sleeper machine. Oh wow! Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember my old 286. I took basic, the programming course, and it's because it was so leading edge in its day when it first became available. And I had worked for a computer processing company, and I was a tester. I tested IC chips and CPUs. So it was interesting. But it didn't take long before why oh, I just didn't have a good application for doing my own programming. I was buying canned stuff, you know. When we got the Packard Bell with Windows 95 286 processor, yeah, 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 running water. That was a big step up, wasn't it? Yeah. And then I got a 286 with that course I took, and yeah, we thought that goes way back in the day. I personally recommend. They started with 486. Love that machine. Yeah, the 486. When I got the first 486, I was pretty damn happy. And in fact, my job at the time, the position I had, I told them it's time to put this place into the computer era. And lo and behold, I got, what was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I bought 7 486s for the office, and yeah, 8 megabytes was, yeah, that was, yeah. Yeah, those were the days. And that's the thing is, you know, we see a lot of great technology changes today. You see it, you know, things upgrading continuously. But it was nothing like those early days. Man, oh man, the changes and the improvements is like they're stumbling over each other. It was so much so fast, coming on so fast. I mean, just going from nothing but landlines to getting bag phones and getting cell phones. That happened in so few years. It was just boom, 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 boom. And it was thrilling. It was thrilling. Man, our first cell phones at the office, everybody thought they were just the cat's ass, you know. The, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the computer firm I worked for, our main file server, our mainframe, had a room of its own, had 4 air conditioners to climate control the room. And even with all 4 air conditioners running full bore, there were times that room would hit about 100, 105 degrees. If it exceeded 110, we had to shut everything down. And because you would start having chip failures, and the magnetic tape would start to degrade. All of them were spool data storage, had the big tape spools on them. Tape spools were 18 inches across, and each machine had 4 sets of 2, and there was a total of 22 machines in that room. And okay, Joran, grab some coffee, man. JCT, hello, sweetie. Yeah, it's surprising how some of that old equipment, it's amazing that some of it still runs, man. It's, yeah. $20 megabyte can't even hold my means. Yeah, ain't that funny though? Ain't that funny? The yeah, when I see certain services that I use and that say you can't save a file over 150 megabytes. it's like, say, what? Are you freaking kidding me? Well, I'd have to have a room full of machines back in the day to save that 150. And I'm bitching today. Yeah. Spoiled people. But I'm okay with it. I don't mind being spoiled that way. I don't mind it at all. I'm feeling so doggone tired. I've got these things that I'm halfway into that I just got to finish up tonight, right? I just need to do it. But boy, something's telling me, you go get yourself something to eat. Plop here and fire up that old boob tube and watch a movie or something. But I know doggone well if I sit here and eat watching a movie, I'm going to pass out, fall asleep right there. Yeah. Oh, that we had the big floppies. You know, they thought it was a big deal when they came out with the 3.5 inch. And one of the reasons they came out with the 3.5 inch was this 5 inch, and then the big ones. And I can't remember if they're 8s or 10s either. The big floppies. All of that was during the commercial computer era. If you weren't government and or large corporate, you weren't owning a computer. That just wasn't going to happen in those days. And yeah, Lawn Dog, yeah, the 286s, yeah. But it was surprising what you could do with them that saved you a lot of time, especially in the word processing end of things and the data, the calculative part of it. I ran a brokerage off of a 286, selling marine products, boats, mostly boats, and managed the whole business on a 286. There was still some manual processes that had to be done, but 286 did a lot of the job. In fact, it saved me from having to hire 2 people, just having that one 286. So, yeah. The company I worked for back then, the cheapest CPU chip that we tested in our company, the cheapest one was $1,200 just for the chip. Just the chip alone. And we had no CRTs. Everything was printer based on nothing but computer printer. That's it. Oh, everything was printed on green bar. All programs were on paper tape. Period. And that was in 1975. And that company was top of the line. We had contracts with NASA. We had contracts with IBM. In fact, IBM was subcontracting to us to do a lot of their work, especially their testing of ICs. Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to wrap it up at 10 o'clock my time. There, Matt. Yeah. That company I worked for, man, you go into the test department One thing I did like is I could rip on people. You come into that test department, you went through 3 what we called static cleansing stations to get into the, because we worked in a sterile environment. And you get in there and you don't get in the place until you've already got static straps on your wrists and your ankles. And you've got a static belt that you're wearing that has a lead on it. All of them have leads on them that are about 6 to 8 feet long. And those have to be touching the floor at all times until you get to your workstation. Then from the workstation, you take one at a time and you plug them into the grounds that are located at the workstation. And you take one of those leads on and you just happen to move the wrong way and you touch one of those CPU chips, you can fry that son of a bitch. That's how sensitive crap was back then. It was very sensitive. It was amazing how stable it was once it was in the machine. Once it hit the circuit board and was mounted, it's like they became pretty rock solid. But in their native state, boy, you did not break any of those static protocols. You fry a CPU, it could be one of those that was $3,500 and they want you to test 100 of them and you screwed up. And the test, if you tested them with the wrong program, it would actually fry those CPUs. We had an employee test 100 of them at $3,500 a piece and fried all 100 of them. That's a lot of money, man. 350 grand out the window. Well, yeah, and he was escorted out the back door with his last paycheck in hand, too. Yeah. In my okay, data 182, that matrix, the tractor feed. Is that a would struggle to find simple ink ribbon to make it work? Now I got an acquaintance of my last tribe I worked at. The IT man there, he's got a room full of dot matrix, all different models and the like. And there's a few people still out there using them and printing green bar, data, just data. But they want it to be in hard copy data. And for them, they just want the high-speed tractor-fed dot matrix. But they had the same issue. Tried to find a ribbon for that. Well, this fella I know, he's got in his shop, he's got this little, it's a closet. And it's got 3 walls of shelves, and those shelves are packed full right to the ceiling with all those ribbons. It's got tons and tons and tons of them. And how, I don't remember, he did tell me once, but I don't remember how he said he got them all. And he can re-ink ribbons. He's got this damn machine that he can what it does is it applies the ink on the ribbon, runs the ribbon through, runs it back. Does that like 4 times, and that ribbon is fully reloaded. But he said reloading those ribbons only works 3 to 4 times, and then the ribbon's shot. So yeah, those old dot matrix are kind of fun. Yeah, the Atari game system. Sorry. Yeah, Ataris. I'm not positive. I believe my youngest boy's got a full Atari system. Yeah, he's big on collecting gaming systems. You know, yeah, he loves them. Um, he he he's got way too many systems. I mean, it's ridiculous. Um, he's got 2 or 3 PlayStation 2s. One of them working just fine. Works like $1 million, just like it would new. He saw a chance to buy 2 Slims, 2 PS2 Slims in excellent condition. So he bought both of them, and I bought one of them off of him. I said, "Why do you need 4?" He says, "Well, 2 of them, one doesn't, it glitches quite a bit." And he says, "It's got to be all torn down and refurbed. The other one is just junk." He said, "But now I've got 2 that run like $1 million. They run like new." And he says, "Yours, how's yours run?" I said, "Just like it came out of the box, man. It's just, yeah, it works like $1 million. Love it, love it." 5 1/4 inch floppy drives. Yeah, yeah. We had 5 1/4 inch floppy drive on 2 machines at my work. Running Water's got a Commodore VIC 20 in the attic. That's, yeah. Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, do online search for new old stock gaming systems. PS2 would just blow your mind what they get for new old stock. It hasn't been played, it hasn't been opened. It's insane. Yeah. The oh yeah, running water. I noticed the other day when I was over there, I was in the office just trying to come up with a game plan once I'm there to get everything organized, looking good in there. And what did I see on the shelf? Yeah, I saw your projector, digital projector sitting there. I am assuming it's yours. Otherwise, Joe would have grabbed that, got it the hell out of there. And I was thinking, I don't know, but I might try, take your projector, hook it up, and project the back wall and see how that works for indirect lighting. We'll see. We're going to play. I'm going to play. Yeah. Still looking for that old equipment because it's really difficult to get good performance out of simulation software. Original machine. Yeah. Well, that's it. Is a lot of the old machines too. I mean, there was a lot of things that were geared for the old tube type TVs. They weren't that you want old RGB, and you want old systems. There's my youngest boy, he's looking for those old CRTs, big ones, and because oh, is that Joe's projector? Oh, well, if he doesn't take it, I'll use it till he realizes that he hasn't got it. but yeah, he needs an old old monitors because the old doesn't run well on the new, and there's latency. And with some of his games, if he doesn't have the right monitor, you can still play the games, but it's quirky. I just what the hell? I'm trying to remember what version of Windows that is. Yeah, it's been so fucking long. That one machine I got in the other room, I get that hooked up when I get removed, and that it's got the original Windows Movie Maker on it. Yeah, I got a lot of old Movie Maker files that I don't have a copy of Movie Maker, and I tried getting it offline. There's some people with pirated copies that pop up once in a while, and they'll share it, and I did get one, and it worked fine, and got that on the second machine, but it was giving me trouble. So then I downloaded it onto the laptop, and that old Windows Movie Maker works great on the laptop. To think I used to do all my video work with that damn thing, and then I look at that today compared to what I make now, and it's just like, why was I doing that? Well, I was doing it because it was the only free option I had at the time, and yeah, and it worked good enough, Hey, Lawn Dog, yeah, emulation software, yeah, that's my youngest boy. Oh, he hates it because it doesn't work very good, especially with certain things. Certain things, it's just, yeah, they try to emulate something, but it's quirky, got lots of bugs in it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Heck, we're going to wrap it up here in just a few minutes, guys. Oh. It's a Sunday night, and I think I've talked to 4 people so far this evening that feel like me, just feel burnt out, feel tired, and who knows what's going on, why everybody's just dragging today. But I'll be back. It's Sunday, so tomorrow night, Monday, 5 p.m. Central Time, Sty Times. I'll be doing Sty Times tomorrow night. You won't see hide nor hair of me Tuesday. Tuesday's an all-day working in the apartment here day. Wednesday, I gotta make sure that I get my starter's going to be here on Thursday. So on Wednesday, I've got to get myself kind of prepped for Thursday. And if all goes well and the truck starter is here on Thursday, I'll be putting it in either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday this week. Running water will be home probably on Friday or Saturday. So a full Adobe Suite subscription that we can get you set up on if you want to try it. Oh, maybe. I've gotten so used to Filmora right now that and I use Filmora and Canva for everything, and I've looked at Adobe Suite, and yeah, I like it, but you know, old habits can be hard to break when I got so damn much going on in my head right now and stuff I got to do for the channel and things that, yeah, if I try to adapt to something new, maybe down the road there, running water, maybe down the road there, yeah. Few people today say, I've never been wide open all day and have still maintained my behavior and language. Matt, that's cool. Uh, there you go, lawn dog. Yeah. Uh, um, high-end computer parts. On top of 2 old Dell XPs. Yeah. That's what's in the other room. It's a Dell with XP. Yeah. That's what's in the other room. Yeah. Old bugger, man. Back in the earlier days of me doing property management. Mm-hmm. I liked XP. I actually liked XP. It was easy to manage. Rebecca Felder saying, I'm playing Temple Run on my phone. I just shared you out again. Oh, Rebecca, thank you so much. But I got to wrap it up here in a few minutes. Yeah. I do need to eat. I do need to eat today. Yeah, XP. That what I guess what I liked about it was dependable, and of course compared to what we're running now, it was limited, but it was dependable and just easy to maneuver. So yeah. Was never designed around security, and they patched it for 15 years and could never get it secure. That's true. Better eat something today above 500 calories. Oh yeah, I'll take care of that. Yeah. I think I'll probably get close to 1,000 calories in me here in the next hour or so. Yeah. But I have no ice cream. Ate the last of my ice cream last night, and I figured I can survive until Monday. Being I'm running into town tomorrow, I said, don't go in today and have to go back tomorrow, because a couple of things I need to do aren't available to do on a Sunday. So I decided Monday night I'll enjoy some ice cream. Yeah. Yeah, thinking of that. And speaking of the devil, grab my glucose test kit and check my blood sugar before I eat. Yeah, Matt's got ice cream. There you go. Good for you. If computer company was to make a long-lasting computer, they would lose money. So therefore, they make more. They have to end, which really sucks. Yeah. Mint chocolate chip and Oreo cookie. Ooh, oh, both of those I might put on my list. Get both of those, yeah. Yeah, that's one thing too. That's one thing with nowadays with technology. They slowly bleed it into the market so that every single thing is a new feature, and they can bleed one or two new features in. But a lot of features are sitting right there on the shelf. They're pre-canned, ready to go, but they're not going to dump them all in the market at one time because they want longevity of the market. You know, they got to keep that market alive. And the best way to do that is come up with a different version or a different upgrade. And that triggers people to buy upgraded items. That's like with GoPro. I still have people say, "Why are you using a 7? You know they're out. They came out with 10." Yeah. Now I'm going to wait a couple of years and then I'll probably buy a 10. Yeah. I like the features of the 10. I've watched a lot about it, and but uh, oh yeah, oh yeah. I tell you what, external drives are a charm. I've got an 8 terabyte external and 2 terabyte externals that I'm currently using daily. The 8 terabyte that gets used all the time. In fact, that's running right now on this one, on this machine. Um, and they're all through high speed USB. So yeah, what a change, hey? Yeah. No more tearing the case open to install my drives, unless I want to put a SD drive or something in. But which that's one thing I packed away. I got 3 SDs. I got 4 2 terabyte internal drives. So sometime down the road here, I'm going to upgrade my machines a little bit. A couple of things I'm going to put in them. This machine, I don't know that I'm going to do any more to this one, but my secondary machine could use a couple of extra drives put in it. Yeah. I don't know where Phil is tonight. I hope everybody watched Phil's little malic acid stunt he pulled with his little granddaughter. She's the cutest thing in the world, man. And she takes a bite out of that gummy bear with malic acid in it. And it was like, nope, 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 nope. And I don't like that. Yeah. It was hilarious. I loved it. She's the cutest thing in the world. Need all that storage space. It will fill up over time. Well, see, and for me, I've got over 800 videos and live streams, and I save all the raw footage and finished footage. If YouTube crashed tomorrow morning, the only thing I would lose would be this stream, because I'm not going to download it tonight. But I keep everything. I keep it all. I keep all that data. Yeah, I got several terabytes of stored raw footage and final footage, and all of it's working files, thumbnails, notes, everything. I've got it all. It's all saved in duplicate. Boom, boom, boom. Over 800. Right from day one. Yeah. Yeah, man. Sweet kid. I don't know. Yeah, 8 terabyte for your Xbox. Yeah, I've got 2 for the PS4. and the 5 hard drives for the desktops. And oh no, I take that back. I got 6. I got a 2 terabyte mini drive. And that one, I like it, except it runs slow. Let's put it this way: it runs slow burning to it. Pulling data off of it, snappy, boom. But it doesn't like to download data quickly. It's, even though it's connected 3.0, it's running at 2.0. I know it. Just, I can tell by the speed difference. It's running 10 times slower than it should to put data on, but it runs fast as can be, pulling data off. So it has its uses because it's so small and portable. I use it with my laptop when I'm out in the field. Yeah. Yeah, I don't jump for the new on the market anymore. I'm just not paying their price, man. I found, and I've done it. I've done it over the last 5 years. Saved myself a ton of money by letting it ride for a couple of years. Because like I said, they bleed technology into the retail market. So let them bleed a little more, advance, buy what I wanted 2 years ago today at a price that's reasonable. And today's technology I'll look at 2 years down the road. And a lot of people say, well, but that means you're not totally up to speed. I'm not totally up to speed out in the woods anymore either, but I still get to where I need to go. And that's all I want out of my systems, is that it gets me to where I need to go. And it does it the best it can for what I'm willing to pay. Yeah. Yeah. So, hey guys, we broke the 3-hour mark. It's past 10 o'clock here. I've got about 2 hours of things I got to do to get done, and I'm going to have to nibble and eat while I'm doing it. So we're going to wrap it up there, guys. I think we did pretty good for 3 hours. Everybody hung in there. It was fun. It was a low key, kind of quiet evening, but loved it. And I'm just going to close this one with my weekly schedule so that people see what's coming up, and we'll catch you all, hopefully most of you, tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central Time for Sty Times. Another fun topic for tomorrow night, and we'll after that I'll catch you Wednesday night for Sty Times again. And yeah, Rain Dancer, it's so easy. Yeah, you're tempting me to just kick back now and just eat. I might just and take a fresh attack at it in the morning. Yeah, I got a lot to do. Yeah, a lot to do. So I'm just one of those where if I got a lot to do, and if it's not done, I don't care if I only have a half hour left and I'll be completely done. I still feel the anxiety I would have felt when I still had 10 hours of work to do. So until it's completely done, I'm going to feel some anxiety over the fact that I got something that needs to be done. So I might take you up on that, Rain Dancer. Thank you. You're a sweetheart. Let's see. Top chat. One computer stuff. Yeah. Okay. It'll get done. You're right. You're right. Yeah. So until tomorrow night or Wednesday night, you all take good care of yourselves. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And just remember, Sty loves you. And I want you to have, for each and every day, a very nice day. Good night, folks. Bye-bye.
We all have a story, we all have a tale.